what's going on, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. And today I'm going to be showing you a variety of different jobs, and we've got a slight change of plans with our channel. We're going to be doing a weekly but slightly longer video with a couple of short videos in the middle of the week. You can see on the floor here we have lots of pots, and we've got a pot of compost, and we've got a lot of little cups which we are using to fill up our soil, and then we're going to be planting some variety of different seeds. So I've got an example here. So we've put some soil on this one already, and we've done that with one other, and all we're going to be doing, we'll fill all these up, we'll come back, and then we'll start sowing. So I've got a handful of seeds here, as you can see, and we're going to start these off in pots and indoors in our house. The reason being is our cold frame is full up, and we are in the middle of building or construction of our big greenhouse, which will hopefully be storing a lot, and I've got a video coming out on that, which is in the process of being made at the moment. So we're going to start off with planting some broccoli, and I have some in my hands here, and they're quite small. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to step over, and I'm going to place two in a pot. So 1, 2, then I'm going to get another 2. They're quite small, so it's quite hard to know when you've got 2. Right, and another 2. So I did that pot, I can see that. So the next lot of seeds we'll be sowing is some winter squash, and these are pips. And we're only going to sow one in a pot. So we've got 3 seeds here. If you can do the maths, that's 3 pots. So we're just going to plant them in these pots here. And the reason we're only doing 1 to a pot is because these grow massive, as we found out last year. So we've got our 3 pots there, and we'll just put the packet on top, and we'll come back to that in a minute. So the next seeds that we are going to be planting is leeks, and they look like that. So we're going to be planting 3 to a pot. So let me just get 3 here. So I've decided where I want these to go, and they're going to go in here. So I'm just going to sprinkle 3. I'm going to get another 3. Come on. Right, that's 3 in that pot, and there's 3 in that pot. We'll come back once we've got all these done, because it might take a little while. So the last thing we are going to sow is some all year round cauliflower, and I've got to be quite gentle when I open my hand, otherwise they're all going to roll out. So we're going to do 2 to a pot. So I'm going to do a couple seeds in each one. So I'll do a couple on camera, and then I'll do the rest off camera. So try not to bore you guys. So we'll do the rest off camera, and then we'll come back. So the reason we're planting a couple in a pot is so when we come to plant them, they will spread out by themselves. And this is good for small gardens, such as maybe people that are watching me or have small gardens. That will be beneficial for them to be planting a few in a pot, and they're not very expensive, these pots. They're about 50p a pack, maybe even a pound, so they're not that expensive, so they're really easy to get hold of as well. And I got this tip from a YouTube gardener like me, and I thought it was a pretty cool idea, so I decided why not we'll have a go, because we don't have, although we have a big garden, we don't really have a big vegetable patch where we can plant. So this is what we've planted so far. So we've now sowed all the seeds, and my assistant, aka my cameraman, is just going to sprinkle some over, and I will be filming. And so we're going to be sowing some compost just over the ones that we have done. So as you can see, he's just sprinkling over the top like so. And so we'll do the rest of camera and then we'll come back once we've got that all done. So we're starting with the courgette, the cucumbers. So we're just doing it very sparingly, as it's shown. So these are the leeks that we planted. So we're just using them sparingly because, and we're going to invest in a new, smaller watering can so I can use it. Normally I use them, but as you can probably see in a lot of videos, I'm very hefty-handed when I do these things. So we moved on to our cauliflower now, and so now we're on to our cucumber. Sorry, it's not cucumber, it's squash, our winter squash that we planted. So a quick little job is that it's quite hot at the moment, so for our chickens we are building them a little bit of shade in their coop. So I've got our trimmings, what we trimmed off our hedge, and so I'm just going to go into our chickens. One of them are out, and I can tell which that one is straight away. And so we made a start, but we're just going to finish it off now. So like so. I'm just going to lift that cane up, and I'm just going to start to put them just so we cover. And we'll put some string around it just so it all stays, so when it gets windy, it's not all going to blow away and our work won't be just a total waste of time because it would all blow away. So we've got the little shelter, we've got our shelter for our chickens, and as you can see we've got a bit of string, and this will rot. This will rot over time. It won't be good for next year, but we'll put some new ones there. And we've got it all across the back, and it's tied to the mesh here. And we'll do that all the way along later. But for now, that's it. So I've got one of our lovely chickens here. Isn't that right, Onion? And they're called Sage and Onion. They're a bit weird names, but here's one of our chickens, and they're about 4 years old. So she pretty wants to go back into her pen now, so I'm just gonna put her in. So she's a bit of an old lady. This is where she's sitting here very nicely. If she was a little bit younger, she would have been flapping and wanting to get out. But there you go. There you go. And she'll just walk around now, and we've got another chicken. I think she's pretty inside in there, so we'll leave them to it now. So just a minute ago we went down the road, and there is somewhere where people are giving out free manure. You have to return the bags, but we've got some manure in our bag here, and we're going to add it to the compost bin. And this will help it warm up and decompose quicker. So this is inside our compost bin, and we'll add our manure in. So if I step back so I'm not manured over. Got our fork here, and you're just going to fork over the manure. Like so it all gets mixed up in whatever we've got in there, and hopefully this should start decomposing a little bit quicker than what it would have done normally. Hopefully we'll start getting our own compost, and this will be good for these times where we don't know how long we're going to be not being able to go to a garden centre or anything. This would be quite handy to have a good amount of supply of compost. About shovel length, I'm thinking, so potentially a little bit more. And we're not using our big shovel to do this, we are just using our little shovel. And we're going to be doing this for 2 plants, which are the exact same. So let's test with the pot. Maybe a little bit deeper, or we can always, if it's too deep, we can always put some soil in. I'm pretty used to a bit that way as well. So that's probably about right. Yeah, so that's about right. We'll get this one in and then we'll show you. So we've wiggled it a little bit and it should just quite simply come out now. And it does. So we're just going to pull it in, put our pot to one side, cover it over. And we'll probably put a bit of fresh compost around it in a minute. But for now I'm just going to compact it. And we'll get our other one in and then we'll show you guys. So I've got my trusty old watering can here, and something that we didn't do when we planted our first one is a water the hole. So I'm just going to do that now. That should be good enough. So we're just going to, so I already wiggled it a little bit, so it should be quite easy. In fact, yeah, so it's quite easy to put out. So we're just going to place it in like so, and then we're just going to cover the soil round like so. So we've got some compost here, and I'm just going to get a couple of handfuls and we're just going to sprinkle around the edge of them. We're going to get one more and then we should be able to water again. Like so. You just pat it down. So with my trusty old watering can, we can, because we've now got our new soil, we can now just water around. I'm going to try not to get myself. And as well, we've got some strawberry plants that were here before. This used to be a strawberry bed. And we've also got an apple tree, which you can see is blossoming lovely. And we flicked a load of ants away as well, because they're after the sap. And you can see some flowers here actually. But what actually produce the apples is these buds here, and they flower at first, and then they'll produce the apples. So with my trusty old watering can, we forgot. This is one of our last jobs for today. Is just to water our plants, and we do this to keep them moist. And also, off camera, we also did a little bit more along here. And now this is just an experiment, but we haven't watered these in a couple of days, so we'll do that quickly now. So let's have a quick roundup of what we've done today. As well, we built a little shelter in the coop for our lovely 2 chickens, and hopefully this should give them a bit of shade. We've also, at the end, planted some new flowers and watered our golfing area bed, and I showed you a little bit of our apple tree, and we also did a showcasing of one of our chickens. So that was it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Keep safe everyone, but that's it for this week's, because it's our new setting of how we do things. But yeah, that's it for this week's Grow Your Imagination upload. Bye guys.